Oh, so
Okay.
if we start laughing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melody Mays, and I'm a student social worker here at Tarleton State. And for one of my classes, we have to do an interview, so I just want to let y'all know that's what it's for. Do y'all have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. First of all, can y'all go through and state your name and your major and what classification you are?
I'm Delaney Wayland. I'm a freshman and I'm a nursing major.
I'm Taylor Fitzgerald. I am a junior psychology major.
I'm Haley Fryman. I'm an education major and I'm a freshman.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So our topic is going to be softball, and my first question is, how long have each of you been playing?
I've been playing since I was 3 years old, so about 16 years.
3 years old, 16 years.
Same as them.
Okay, that's good. What position do you guys play?
I play shortstop, middle infield, pretty much anything except catcher or pitcher.
I want to play second base right now
Right now? What
Yeah.
does that mean?
because I can't throw. I just had shoulder surgery, so I'm kind of limited to where I can go.
Okay.
It's middle infield.
I'm a pitcher.
Alrighty. What is your reason for playing, Taylor?
My reason for playing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I loved the game when I was younger. Like it was something that I was really good at. So, and I like doing things that I'm good at. So, well, when you're a little kid, like you don't like not being very good. So we kind of went with that and developed it, and it's something that like I don't know I've identified with for so long, and I like to play. It's kind of an escape from the day.
Okay.
So you get away from regular life.
Delaney, can you tell me your reasoning for playing?
Ever since I was little, my sister always played softball before me, and I thought it was the coolest thing to go to her games and everything. And my dad's the one that really got me into it, and once I started playing, you know, it's just like she said, for the love of the game and the little girl inside you that still loves softball that thought it was so cool. You know, you get out there on the field, and it's like the same feeling you have when you were 3, no matter whether you're playing in the dirt or if you're actually playing it. It's a good thing.
And Haley, can you tell me yours?
For me, it's a huge stress reliever. I mean, I honestly don't remember playing as a kid. I did, but I mean, I don't think about that like while I'm out there. I just think about like every time I go to practice, like I'm happy. Like I forget. I could have a worse day, but if I'm there, then it makes me happy. So that's
Awesome. Alrighty. Can each of you tell me the hardest part about preparing for a game?
Mine would probably be really setting my mind right and letting, like, as they use it like as a stress reliever. For me, I have to let go of the rest of the world. Like, I walk in and have to literally like shut off my phone, go from school mode to softball mode because I'm a worrier. I worry about everything all the time. So just really turning it off and worrying about just the game and what's gonna happen later on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's hard for anyone. Just being in school and college, like that is such a stress for a lot of people, and to be able to not think about that for an hour and a half or 3 hours or whatever, if you're playing a game or practice, you know, that's like a really hard struggle. So I would agree with that statement. Taylor?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
It's okay. The hardest part about preparing for a game?
Okay. I would say focusing on where we are right then. Because, like, it's really easy to think about, like, if it's the second day of a series, to think about how you did the day before, the game before, if it's the same day. Think about your last series. Think about what you did well, what you didn't do well. And it's either way, like, it's making sure you're where your feet are. Like, that's the hardest part for me without thinking about, like, I don't get distracted about things outside of softball so much, but it's within softball. I can have 100 different distractions and have the same effect. So
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people put so much emphasis on your batting average or your fielding percentage or your on-base percentage that's where your focus goes, you know, and like when you focus on those things, it's not gonna help your batting average
At
or
all.
you know, like it just I think it makes it worse for sure.
Absolutely.
mine is like they said, kind of like the mental side, and like as a pitcher, like I'm not always in the game. I'm like in and out of the game. I don't bat, so I'm not on the offensive side. So all I can do is watch. And like sometimes I'm in the bullpen, I'm not out there, so I have to be able to focus in and out more than just like I'm not in the game the whole time. Like I have to prepare like myself before I go like on the mound if I'm in the bullpen, and I can't when I'm in the bullpen. Like I think it's hard to not because I could have an awesome bullpen, but then go out there and like not do very good. I could have a bad bullpen and go out there and do good. So I can't really like prepare myself like in the bullpen to what I'm gonna do outside. Like I can't compare it. So I think that's kind of
I mean, I think all of those things are hard, and it's such an accomplishment when you are able to focus just on the game, and you are able to not, focus on other things for sure. So did each of you have like your biggest rival, whether it was in high school or it's in college right now?
Well, I'm trying to think. We were in high school. We were more like everybody. Like we didn't
Yeah.
we actually played. Our high schools played each other, but like
but we weren't in the same district.
Yeah,
So,
so
we
yeah.
only played each other maybe sometimes once a year.
yeah.
And it
But
was
we
in
were in the
fall
same.
season.
We were kind of in the same town. Like our
Yeah.
high school team shared football stadiums and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So
And
we
we
were
did
like,
play on football every year. So.
yeah. So they were kind of our school's biggest rival.
Uh-huh.
But all of the
So
teams
cool.
I've ever played on, it's not. You don't really have one. It's like whoever's
every
coming up
team.
next, you don't like.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you just automatically like you're not cool with it. So I don't know that there's
We
really
didn't
one.
like the teams who could actually compete with us.
Yeah.
Like Keller or like
Mhm.
especially
That were
our-
actually good
that were actually
competition.
yeah.
Mhm.
If they weren't very good, like every year like Halton wasn't very good, we didn't even think about it. We're like, oh, we just go out and play our game.
Yeah.
But if it was like a actually good team, that's our rival that weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We just didn't like Mansfield.
Really?
Yeah, we just didn't like Mansfield. They had some really tacky fans and some really tacky players, and just their whole like demeanor and everything. It just made them like the obvious people to hate. And
Yes, it
regardless
is.
of how good they were that year or not, it was always good to put a spanking on.
Mhm.
So
I feel like here
that
at
was definitely
Tarleton,
ours.
we have like WT and Midwestern. I feel like
Yeah.
are our main two. That like I mean Angelo, but he's not so like the coach. I think it depends a lot on the coaches.
Because
like-
Brady Tucker can make a big deal out of anything.
Yeah, but if like the coaches are kind of calmer and just kind of like, and it's the girls, like it's not as big of a deal.
I feel like Commerce will be one next year too,
Yeah.
especially
he's
after our
good,
yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do any of you have anything funny you do to get ready for a game?
I have to keep my nails painted.
Yeah.
Not painted right now, but there are times I've been like in high school at our playoff game. We were waiting for the next team. We'd already warmed up, like I was warm. We were waiting for the next team to play, and I painted my nails right there. They were messed up and they were bugging me, so I just painted.
Do they have to be like a certain color or just any
I
color as
normally
long
keep
as
the
it's
same color like throughout the season.
Uh-huh.
And like kind of superstitions too. Like if I do bad with them, then I'll change it. But I'm kind of OCD about those.
Okay.
Yeah, I think mine would probably. I like to have my nails. I think mine would be I have a bow, but that's
Yeah.
before practice and everything. Like it's just one of those things that I've had it for so long,
Mhm.
and like my uniform isn't complete. And yeah, okay, I guess my weird thing would be like nails, bow, visor, sunglasses. Like I call it my shield. Like I really do because it's like when I have the full shield on, like I feel like I'm ready to go and like I'm there
Uh-huh.
because I have like my eyes are blocked off from everybody else. The sun's out and my uniform's complete with it. I don't know. It's just
I mean, whatever works, you
Yeah.
know. It works for you, so.
I don't think I do anything funny. I think I'm very go out there. I don't know. Not that I can think of that I do
Yeah.
anything like ritualistically. I think I'm trying to think if I have anything that I do that's kind of funny. I'm just gonna go.
That's okay.
Oh,
too.
I wear my armband the whole game. No one else does that.
hey, that's
I wear my armband. Oh, Taylor, but no one else really does that. They all make
I'm
fun
gonna
of
lose
me.
it if I take it
They all
off.
make fun of me for wearing my armband.
She's
the whole
worn
game.
into Walmart.
I've worn it to Walmart.
Yeah, she wears it after the game.
I wear it after.
I'd say that's the funny part. It doesn't get off.
Oh goodness. Okay. What is a favorite memory that you have from playing, whether it was in high school or it's in college now, or when you were little?
My absolute favorite memory was my junior year. One of our other big rivals was South Carolina Prairie, and we were playing them. It was 0-0 the whole game, and we got into the 8th inning, and we started with a runner on second and got bunted around, and then they walked the girl in front of me intentionally to get to me to get the ground out at 4, or whatever. And my coach got in my face, and he was like, "You realize what they're trying to say, or whatever." And I ended up, all I had to do was just put a ball deep. She could tag up and go home. And I ended up just hitting it over the fence. So I hit a great slam, and it was the most awesome moment, like running in and running around and seeing my whole team just like standing there at home plate. And then same thing with like my first college home run, like seeing all y'all just like around the thing coming in. I was like, that is the coolest thing. I just love it.
For sure. I'd have to say mine would be in travel ball we got second at Premier Nationals one year,
Mhm.
and the coolest, I guess the best memory I have was catching Sydney, and the team we were playing was based out of California, and I think a couple of their girls went to like Pac-10 SEC schools. Like their whole team was just stacked, and we were like, oh, Texas team's never gotten this far. We were a little bit worried. Like it was the game before the championship game, and like one of their fast girls that was committed to UCLA like got on base. Like she like dropped a bunt down, got on base, and like I've never seen somebody run so fast. And I'm catching, so I was like, she's about to steal, and she stole second, and I ended up throwing her out. Her sister got on, who was going I think to Washington or I don't remember, something like that. Got on, got a double, and stole third, or was going to steal third, and I ended up throwing her out blind because like the batter was right-handed. I just kind of chunked the ball around her, and I got her out, and that was probably my favorite memory because after that they had fast girls just all around, and they didn't steal any more bags. They just stayed put, and it was really cool because like that combined with like we hit well, Sydney pitched well, like and all that kind of stuff, like and we won. And we were the first Texas team to get that far, so it was just kind of that whole like night was just awesome. So.
Well, I don't remember specific plays or games like they can, but my junior year in playoffs was like awesome because my team was awesome. Like we could actually stand our coach that year. It was crazy, but we got to go to like it's like not looking back like right now, it's like not that. Like now playing college is not that cool, but like then it was cool because like we in playoffs we played at all the like colleges around like Tech and ACU and like we just thought it was cool, and like it was so much fun because that was like the farthest like we made it, and like every other team at our school sucked. So like for us like to make it pretty far was cool.
Yeah. So would you say like all of your memories they kind of they have to do with softball, but it's a lot of who you're around and like who you're with at the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, Delaney, what athlete do you look up to?
If you honestly want to know, not necessarily anybody famous. But I really look up to my brother. My brother, he's younger than me, but he, it's kind of weird, I guess. I'm the older sister looking up to my brother. But he's one of those people who, whenever he's performing, he can completely set apart, like I said, school, the game, his social life, everything else. And he is the most zoned in, focused, like, all-in player you'll ever be in your life. And he works so hard all the time to be as good as he is. And he plays football, he plays baseball, and he's just so driven and so motivated, like, easily, like, intrinsically. And he is so good at it. And it's almost like it comes naturally to him most of the time, but he still puts in the extra work that he needs to. And he's just an awesome person all around. So combining like his personality and how he is off the field and then how he is on the field, it just makes him one of those people that everybody loves and just wants to know.
And I think that's what's so cool because he's an all around, he's an awesome person on the field and off the field. I think that's what makes it even better.
The coolest thing is when you go to his baseball games and he'll pitch or he'll play first, and you'll have little kids running up to him after the game, and he's only in high school, and they're like, "You're so cool, you're so good, I want to be just like you." Like, I didn't have that. I'm just saying, like, he's one of those people that he's a reputable person, and he's awesome for it. So.
That's awesome.
That was awesome.
Taylor, do you have an athlete that you look up to?
I do. Mine is famous though. Mine's Derek Jeter, and that's kind of dumb. It's kind of cookie cutter, but like I think it's him and Chipper Jones are my two favorite baseball players because of just their loyalty. They started with the programs that they finished with, and when I was younger, I team hopped a lot because like our teams would dissolve and we'd have to go to this place, we would move and stuff like that. So it's something that I really admire when somebody I transferred colleges from ACU to here. So it's one of those things that like people that through really difficult times can stay with their teams and pledge complete like loyalty to that. I think that's awesome. And Derek Jeter's the best in the game, in my opinion, at what he did. And I think my favorite thing about him is that he did the fundamentals correctly. He never, like, he could do the fancy stuff, but he was extremely consistent in what he did. attitude wise, my favorite thing was that he always ran through first base. So many major league players, you see like they hit a ground ball and they like halfway jog because they just assume they're gonna get out. And I really like that his attitude is like there's nothing about the game of baseball that he will overlook. So everything is important, no matter how small it is. So I really like that he's consistent just across the board. So, and that he went from being this young rookie kid to being like just the number one leader of a really high profile team. So he was just with that comes a work ethic. So he's all around me.
Yeah.
But and I like Chipper Jones kind of for the same things. He aged a little worse, but those are my two favorites.
Okay. So going off of you talking about his attitude, Haley, how does attitude play a role in playing softball? How important is it?
Attitude is very important in softball, I think, because I think you can have all the talent, whatever you need to be good, but if you don't have the right attitude, the right mindset, you're not going to give off the sort of like the things that you need to help your other players. Like you can be good, make all the plays, but if you have a bad attitude, then it's not worth having you. If you're not hustling or doing your job like what you're supposed to, then your teammates aren't going to trust you. They're not going to look up to you. They're not going to give you the respect that you need to have a good team. So I think attitude's very important.
I think we all know somebody that had a really good talent that isn't where we are now.
Yeah, and they didn't make it as far because coaches aren't going to put up with that. Teammates aren't going to put up with that, and they shouldn't. So
The way you carry yourself is detrimental to your success. Like regardless of, like she said, how good you are, it doesn't matter.
I would agree. Okay, so what are y'all's goals for this season?
Goals for the season. Mine right now would be to overcome where I'm at right now. With how, not that I've been unsuccessful, I just haven't done it yet. And I'm working on coming out of where I've been. And I've done so defensively. Now it's just time to work on it offensively. So I would say getting 1% better every day and knowing that I'm doing something to make a difference that's gonna benefit in the long run.
I think my goal for the season is just to win. Like I hate losing. I want our team to figure it out. There are days that we're really good on this aspect or we're really good on this one, but we haven't really put everything together yet to just really crush people. That it's so hard. It's I feel like we're getting there's some it's the dam, it's building up. I swear there's just one time we're gonna put it together and then we're just gonna flood people. And I think that's my biggest goal for, I guess, at this point in the season, because we're late in it, that we figure out whatever it is that's going to break that dam. I think, for me personally, would be to stay more consistent, so when those pieces do get put together, I'm a part of that flood, kind of a thing. So I think that would be my biggest goal, because I really just like to win.
I mean, doesn't everyone?
I mean, well, I guess I hate to lose more than anything, but I mean, it just drives me nuts.
I think my goal, I don't want to settle. We've kind of been the underdog, I guess. We just have a new team, and I don't want us to think that splitting is okay or winning 3 games okay when we should be winning 4. I don't want us to settle for a little bit. I want us to understand that we can do the whole thing. We don't have to be satisfied with 3 games or 2 games. And I know we're still putting things together, and that's okay because we are a new team. We have the chemistry and we have all the things we need. We just need to put it all together. So I think
click.
So I think my goal is to help with that. I want to contribute and do my best, and she said, to stay consistent and be a part of that.
So do you think being a fairly new team, does that have a lot to do with kind of slowly, like you said, trying to build up to putting it all together?
I think it does. I think I guess along with that, we have a really young team, but we have a lot of transfers too. So it's there's only 3 girls from last year's team, 4.
There's 5 or 6.
So there's 5.
I think there's 5.
Oh yeah, but out of 17
right.
girls, that's not
a
very much.
small portion.
So we've got freshmen and transfers that I think and we didn't play any fall ball games.
Yeah.
So starting the season was the first time that we really got there. So I think that'll, like, the more familiar we get, I think that'll help a lot. But I think, I guess, kind of back with the other question, combining these two, is one of my goals, like, kind of like as like being upperclassmen and our other upperclassmen on this team is like our group of freshmen and our one freshman coming in next year. I want them to like really see that they can be successful without feeling like the freshman pressure. Because where I came from, if you were a freshman, you were treated like it. And I feel like they've done a really good job about coming in and just kind of being like, well, forget that. Like, we're going to do our job. But I don't want them to get caught up in the hype around them. I feel like that, like the stats thing, gets in your head. That bug gets in so fast, and team drama and stuff like that. That you really, like, you're happier when you just flip all those switches off. And like a lot of the upperclassmen that I've talked to, have really said that that's the difference from their younger years or later years. So kind of helping them get to that process faster. That way, when we get in stickier situations, we can turn that off and
Right.
go.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Haley, I know you mentioned that you always have to have your nails painted. Do you have any other superstitions?
I don't know if this is, I guess you could say it's like part of my routine now, but like where the mound is, I always have to step on the left side, like right on the corner. And I did that since like last year. I don't know why, I just step on it. If I'm over here, I go all the way around. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed that, but I seriously walk all the way around just to step on it. And I don't know if it's a superstition or I used to grab dirt like in a certain place. Like if I was doing good in this corner, then I would stay on that corner. If I was doing good in the middle, I would stay in the middle. Like it depends, but that's in the same color of nails. That's it.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's a superstition. My shoelaces are always like quadruple knotted, but mostly so I don't trip. But now it's like I just do it. I just do it every single time.
Okay, well, hey. Delaney or Taylor, do y'all have any superstitions?
I have two. I wouldn't say they're superstitions as much as they're routines because I do them every time. But like if we don't do so well in an inning for like defensively, and the inning before that, I like as soon as we broke out of the circle and I yelled out and I called out, "Hey, we got no one on, no one out." I don't say it the next time. I don't. I just don't do it. I'm like, well, it didn't work last time, so I'm not gonna do it this time.
I think that's a superstition.
Yeah,
And,
that
so, and then my other one, wow. Oh, I always draw a cross at the back behind me on the dirt before every inning, and I trace over it.
Okay.
Just if you see me run out there, like I call out the outs if we did good, and then if not, and then I bend down and I do the cross behind me.
Okay. Do you have any?
I'm not really a superstition person. I mean, I've got my routines, but Coach Coombe talked about when we were trying to establish our routines at the beginning of the season, he was like, if you don't do it, can you still be clear-minded to do whatever you were going to do? So, like, I worked really hard on, like, if I don't, because, like, pitchers will quick pitch you. So you don't have time to do your rituals or routines. So sometimes you have to be adaptable to that. I think the closest thing I could say to having, I guess, a superstition is that it's like a mental thing where I'm more OCD about it. Like when I get in the box, like I wipe off the top of the bat and the bottom of it at the same time, and to get all the dirt off, because I wipe it this way and then get the end caps. And to me, like, that's just like my bat's clean. There's no dirt. Like, it's pure, ready to go to hit the ball cleanly. And if I don't do that, like, I feel my bat feels heavier. It feels different. Like, it really does. Like,
I think that might be a superstition.
so that's the only one that I'm really like really bad about is I have to wipe it off. But other than that, that's about it.
Okay.
Sometimes we're talking an English accent.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's just more
I mean,
entertainment,
just-
though.
Yeah, but if we're doing good, I'll keep doing it. Well, we have to keep doing
She's
it.
like, okay, guys, here we go, 3 up, 3 down.
I said, "Big D on three."
Oh,
Let's go.
goodness.
Here,
Okay, do you guys have a favorite coach?
Yes, Watson.
Okay.
Only
You know,
because she's my
has-
pitching coach and I see her all the time. I
So
see her
that's
all
your
the time.
current pitching coach right now?
Mhm.
Okay.
Or she's, one of her coaches. She's one of your soccer coaches too. In case you didn't know.
Just in case you
Just in case.
Taylor, do you have a favorite coach?
Of our three,
It can be
Or
from
from
any
team
time.
select.
any
From
coach?
any time, yeah. Any coach
Oh, then
that,
yeah, I have a favorite.
that just really sticks out to you.
Ed Nodine would have been my favorite coach. He was my travel ball coach throughout high school. That was a team that my favorite memory earlier that came from that team.
Okay.
Just because he was the one that was trying to prepare us for college,
Mhm.
and I've never run so hard in my life. And it was just, he was somebody who expected your best all the time. He just expected it, and we were so willing to give it to him, because it wasn't that we wanted to please him, but it's that he knew, he saw us, and he didn't expect things that we couldn't do.
Mhm.
And he kind of expanded what we thought we could accomplish. So, something like, and he wasn't a man of many words. He wasn't particularly nice, but he wasn't really necessarily mean. But he was loud and he was in your face. But
Mhm.
it was never to be hateful. He was, I see where you can be, and I expect you to be there. Like, get there. So I'd say he's my favorite. But out of, I don't know, our coaches here, I think they all three, like, I don't, like, they all kind of have their things in their areas that I like. This is my favorite coaching staff by far, though. So.
Okay.
I would agree. I'd say that our coaches all really complement each other well,
Mhm.
but Coach Caviano, I just have like a different kind of relationship, I guess, where he's one of those coaches that really, it's not that he eases the pressure, but he makes it a little easier. Maybe not for y'all, for me he does. He puts a lot of time and he puts a lot of effort into like our team.
Mhm.
Like he's at the field longer than we are. He's doing film all the time, but he puts a lot of effort into making each of us the best player that we can be,
Mhm.
and making sure that we know that he cares about that. He's a different kind of coach than what I've ever had, because every other coach I've ever had's angry, in your face. Like if you screw up, even if it's not in your control, you know, they're like, well, you should have done this, you know. And he's one of those who's very understanding of like, you know, the process and everything that we talk about, and knowing that, you know, you have the potential to be what you can be, and that he's gonna help you get there. So.
Okay. So, what do you feel is the most important thing that he has taught you since you've been here?
Most important thing is just knowing that, like, because I'm very much overly analytical.
Mhm.
I overanalyze everything in my life, may it be, you know, my social life or anything that has to do with school or whatever. But he's taught me that, you know, being smart sometimes can be to your detriment, especially when you play softball, because you start to overanalyze things and you start to think about things you don't need to think about. So just knowing that I need to literally, he told me this, he was like, just dumb it down. Everything that I do, he's like, dumb it down. It's a very simple game if you just dumb it down. So I say it all the time now. I'm like, dumb it down, dumb it down, dumb it down.
Okay. Haley, how do you react in high pressure situations?
Like a beast.
I just go through my routine. Like I think that's helped me a lot. Like that's been like our emphasis is like going to your routine. And as like a pitcher, you really do need to stick to your routine. Like especially when bases are loaded, like there's no outs. Like maybe you just get put in the game. Like you have to like bring yourself into the moment too. Like, and I think my routine like really helps that, and like just breathing, knowing your situation, and then not thinking about it. Like you just go and do, okay, this is something I do every day. Like, and something that helps me, like Niko will always, like our catcher, she'll always be like, okay, best pitch, and like I'm like, yeah, it's like this is my best pitch, like every single one of them, and that helps me a lot. And just sticking to your routine and not thinking about it. Like you can't think, oh, bases are loaded. Like what if this happens? Like you just have to do what you do, and it'll come. Like even and some things you can't control, like an error, like even if you do pitch a good pitch, like they can get a base hit off of it. Like it just happens. And so if that happens, I just have to bring myself back to my game and know that I've been here before.
Okay. Do y'all have any other advice on that?
I don't know. I feel like in high pressure stuff, almost to a fault, I make it no pressure in my head. Like it can be. I guess the last time I was really in the situation was we had bases loaded in high school. It was like bottom of the seventh, and we were like, I guess down by one or tied. I can't remember what it was, but something like that. And like we were either going to be done that night or go on to the next round, kind of a thing. And like at that point in time, like and stuff like that, I've always been like papers being due like the next day. Like if anything, like I put it off. And I make it in my head less pressure. I'm almost making it like an invaluable experience, so I don't over freak out. And then sometimes it like comes off as like I don't care or like being lazy about it because I'm like, oh, like it's not like I try to be like, oh, it's not. This isn't pressure. You're not under pressure here. But so I think that's more my thing is that I would instead of freaking out about I have to do something here, I'm more like it'll be okay regardless.
Yeah, like something that I like. You treat every situation the same, and if you do that, then
Yeah.
you won't be under pressure. Like I know, like some of y'all will be like, "Oh, you look like you don't change facial expressions." Well, that's because if I'm mad, angry, happy, like I don't want y'all to see that because when I am mad, I don't want it to come off like I'm mad when I'm happy. I don't want it to come off of as I'm happy. Like if I treat everything the same, then there won't be a problem. Like it's the same situation whether there's 2 outs, nobody on, or 2 outs, bases loaded. Like it's the same situation.
Okay.
You have to treat it the same.
So to wrap up, what advice would you give to future softball players or softball players that are wanting to go to college or any of that? Is there any advice that you would give?
I would say,
Yeah.
I would say like the most important thing that I learned is that with how often, like, and how much we play softball, because it is such a year-round sport, to not make a job out of it, and to just remember why you play, and to enjoy every second of it, because, you know, you get to college, and you get here, and, you know, it's ultimately your goal, like, what you want to do. Like, you work so hard to achieve all these things, and you get here, and you know, you want to be able to say that you enjoyed the process of getting here. And I did, but I think I could have enjoyed it a lot more. Just instead of being so caught up in the recruiting process and being like, oh, well, I have to do this so that this coach sees me, and I have to do this and do that. You know, just taking the pressure off of yourself and just enjoying it and loving the game, because, you know, there's nothing more rewarding than doing something you love and then being successful in it. So.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I feel like so many people were like, you know, it is a job, like that is going to be your job, and you need to not basically treat it like a job, but just would tell me over and over like it is a job. But if you treat it like a job, I feel like it's not near as fun. So I think that was something that I had to learn my freshman year as well, for sure.
See, and I'm kind of on the other end of that. I'm one of those. It is a job.
Yeah.
But it's more like I've learned being in college more that like you said, enjoying the process of getting here would have made it a lot easier. But it's I guess my main 3 things would be to have a good work ethic. Like you have to be able to handle yourself. You have to be able to make self adjustments and know that you have to have good time management. You have to have a lot of self discipline. So that would be a really big thing. 2 and 3 are kind of like controlling what you can sometimes, and with a good attitude. Like I was one of those players when I was younger that I had a lot of talent, but when it came to certain coaches, like I had a poor attitude, and I missed some opportunities because of that. But it's one of those things that like if you handle those, if you're with a good attitude, you work hard, and you don't try and control things that you can't, you're gonna get further. But also that to try to put it in God's hands, kind of thing. That was something that that really helped me, was that like I was meant to be here at Tarleton, and I didn't know it, and I was a bratty little kid, and I was like, I want to go here, like, and it was one of those things like God really opened my eyes to seeing where I was supposed to be, and getting to this place has been an amazing experience. So it's one of those things like not to worry too much about the things that aren't up to you.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I did not want to come to Tarleton like at all, and that was like I got a few other offers, but this was the best one because I did want to stay close to home.
Yeah.
And I did want to play softball, you know. So just letting God, you know, have control and knowing that this is where you're meant to be. I think that's key too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it's way less stressful that way.
Right.
I agree, because I was committed to a school in Arkansas, and I regretted it the second it happened. And I wanted to come here, but I was on a team that they just didn't recruit from, and but then it ended up happening. I did the same thing. I was like, well, I can't do anything, but it's February of my senior year, and I'm not going anywhere right now, and I was freaking out. But yeah, that really helps me. But something that like, it's kind of opposite of what Delaney said. I think like the pressure and like the recruiting, because honestly I didn't like softball. I liked playing high school, but like by the end of my senior year, I was like, I hope college makes me like it again, because right now I don't. And it really did. So I think like, and it depends on what college you go to and like what the environment is. But like I honestly started liking it again like from the second like we started here. And so I think I would say like don't get discouraged like don't get burned out too quickly, because college is different. Like if you were thinking about it, you worked all the way to get here, so once you're here it's like pressure's off, like you're here to actually have fun. And I think that's what I've learned.
It's hard. It's a hard process all the way around, going from getting here, and once you get here, it's a different kind of hard. It's not like a worried, you don't know kind of hard. It's like you know what's expected of you now, and getting to that point is hard.
Yeah.
So there's going to be difficulty no matter what. It's just how you kind of handle it that is going to make the difference.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank y'all for taking the time out to do this. And if y'all don't have any other questions, that's all I have today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you still smiling at the camera?
I am.